everybody, it's Regan, your Longmont Realtor. Today I'm with Karen McCormick. She is the State House Representative for House District 11, which is pretty much all of Longmont. So it's 66, 75th over to Pace, and then the southern city limits. So you see it here on this map. And we are here today, we were talking, the election is coming up, she is running for re-election, and I've offered both of the candidates running 10 minutes to come and talk to us, tell them about themselves, why they're running, what we can expect. And on that note, I'm going to go ahead and just ask the first question. Karen, thanks for taking time and tell us about you and why you're running.
Well, thanks, Reagan. I really appreciate this time. I am one of those people that never intended to run for public office. It was never on my list of things to do. My background is that I grew up in a Navy family. My dad served 30 years in the United States Navy as a fighter pilot. I have a brother that's a fighter pilot as well. And we'd moved all over the country. I had lived 14 places before I graduated from high school. And so that instilled in me a sense of what it means to be an American. I learned a lot about our country and why he was gone half my childhood.
Sure.
His service kind of to our country and our system of government. And I went into a service industry. I ended up going to veterinary school, becoming a veterinarian, and practicing veterinary medicine and surgery for 34 years, and also ran my own business here and raised 3 kids here in Longmont. We've been here 28 years. So all of that life experience, I developed a sense of helping my community and solving problems, and making sure I always had compassion in mind when I was dealing with people. And it really was the lead up to the 2016 election, and seeing and hearing all the divisiveness and rhetoric that people at the federal level weren't able to have civil discourse with each other, to learn how to disagree without being disagreeable, and really look at problems in a way that helps move people forward, solves the issues of the time. And so I made the wild decision to run for Congress, from nothing to a federal race, which was pretty amazing as far as learning how to run a campaign from the ground up.
Yeah.
And how to connect with people and give people a choice. So I ran in the 4th Congressional District in 2018, got a great team of people that knew how to run a campaign. So that's key, is
Sure.
When you don't know something, go find the people that can help you. And we ran an incredible race. We were able to raise enough funds to do what we wanted to do. And we were able to move that district a full 10 points in one cycle. So after that experience, our state rep was term limited, and I had people from the community come ask me, we think you should run for this seat. It's open now. We really appreciate what you did on the federal level.
Sure.
And I found out that this is actually a much better fit for me, because I love to fix things as a veterinarian and as a mom. And so at the state level, I am finding that there is much more willingness to work together. 95% of our bills that we pass are bipartisan, and that feels really good, because I really
Sure.
think that when you're a state representative, you represent your entire district. I'm not there representing the Democrats. I'm not there representing the Republicans or the unaffiliated. I represent the entire district, and it just feels really good, and I feel purposeful. And so we've gotten a lot done in my first term. It's just been 2 years, and I'm ready to keep going.
There you go. That's a great, I'd say a great lead to the next question is, what would you say are the biggest challenges facing the state and those impacts specifically to Longmont?
So there are several wide-reaching issues that I am focused on because of what I'm hearing from people in our district and statewide. And one of the biggest ones is our housing crunch. So we have people that have lived here a long time. We do have new people moving in as well, but
Sure.
The ability to have affordable, attainable housing for the people that really bring the richness to our community is really becoming such a struggle. So our service industry workers, our teachers, I'm super concerned about their ability to find housing, our firefighters and police officers, all the people that really hold our community together are finding that they're spending close to 50% of their income, if not more, on housing. And that's
Sure.
just not a way to build your family equity or to really sustain, a good quality of life. So housing is a big issue that we focused on in the last 2 years that we need to continue to work on. And in fact, there's a proposition on the ballot this year that I support that's going to help fund a lot of those initiatives where local municipalities like Longmont can apply for some of this funding to help with rent assistance for innovative solutions to housing. And so that's a big one, housing.
Sure.
There are issues involving our public safety department that I'm also focused on. We have a really great model here in Longmont where our police chief, who I've met with, and the city manager and the city council, there are some issues involving our ability to hire and retain officers to make sure our city stays safe. And I am already in contact with the Attorney General's office and the district attorney on how do we make the job of a public safety officer work for the community as well as for the public safety department. And there's some issues around guidelines on sentencing that we need to re-examine, and to make sure that we can hire and retain those officers, because we have a really great system of restorative justice here that is modeled throughout the state and throughout the country that I want to continue to support because we've done a lot of things right here in Longmont. Another big issue for me is the future of water. As a state, I'm the chair of the Agriculture, Livestock, and Water Committee at the House. And Longmont's done a really great job of long-term planning as far as our water infrastructure and our water needs building out as our community grows. But we're not an island, and we're connected to the rest of the state. And as many of us have been reading and hearing about, that this 20+ year drought is really having an effect on our long-term access to water. And as we all know, without water, we can't have businesses, we can't eat, we can't live, we can't have all the things that we need. So I'm really focused on the future of water and how do we better plan in that space as well.
Yeah, that makes sense. So I guess our last question, the last few minutes we have is, so if you're elected, let's assume you're elected, what can residents in the area, in the district in Longmont, what can they expect from you at the state level? The things that, like your priorities there, how you'll do those, actions you'll be taking that will specifically make impacts in Longmont.
So I reflected on a couple of those things with public safety, housing, and water. I would answer your question more in a sense that people can expect me to be responsive, which we respond to every constituent that reaches out in a very timely manner. That's really important to me, that communication stays open. Also that I am the representative for the entire community. And so what folks don't necessarily realize is your state representative is the person you go to if you're having an issue that is individual to you that involves any state agency. We're the person that can help you work through the barriers to get a solution, to get resolution on an issue. So people need to know that I'm the person you come to with those issues so that I can help navigate the systems, because it can be a little overwhelming at times. So you can expect me to be responsive and to be respectful and always have compassion for whatever the issue is. And so whether we're dealing with a housing issue, public safety issue, I'm also very focused on some of the wildfire mitigation. We've been through a lot in our state, and we now know that towns like Longmont aren't exempt from having issues like wildfire come to our city.
There you go. So definitely, it seems like the responsiveness and communication, some of those things that you're saying to be accountable for. So we've got just under a minute left. And I gave the candidates 10 minutes. Anything else you want to add or mention what we were talking about before we finish?
I just really appreciate, there's so much about Longmont that I love. Like I mentioned at the beginning, I've lived here 28 years in the same house, same neighborhood. My kids grew up in the St. Vrain Valley School District, which I really admire and appreciate because we did go through a really tough time back in the early 2000s. I love this city. This is my forever home. I plan to be here the rest of my life. And so it's just an honor for me to be in this position and represent all of the residents. And I would just be honored to continue to do so.
Hey, there you go. Well, appreciate it so much. And we are right on time. I'm hearing our timer go off. So thanks again for taking time to come and talk to us. And thanks for watching. And be informed. Make sure you vote. Ballots are coming out soon. And thanks
Next
again.
week.
Thanks again.
Thank you, Regan.